Welcome back to Sibling Showdown, the best ball edition, and of course the live draft edition. We are drafting another Underdog Puppy 2. It is still open. It's probably going to be closed soon, so we're going to take advantage and grab another Puppy 2 live draft here. I'm Meg. You can find me on Twitter at Megs08DFS, and I'm joined by my brother Steve. You can find him at SteveOSpeak. Steve, how are you doing today? And you excited to draft it? I think this is our third puppy in a row.
Yeah, no, I mean, the puppy is just such a great tournament, still big prizes, but only $5 investment. Also, with the second one, they added the, a little bit of a season-long element as well. So, even better. So, yeah, it's a really, really good tournament.
Yeah, absolutely. Of course, before we jump into the draft, please be sure to like this episode, subscribe to the FanSpeak Network. We're doing live draft strategy shows every single week. And of course, we have a ton of our best ball content over on fanspeak.com. Steve is working on rankings. We have rankings up soon for free. And free articles, just strategy articles. Each and every week, we have strategy articles over on fanspeak.com. So be sure to check us out there. Of course, finally, we're heading over to Underdog. If you are new to Underdog, use the code FANSPEAK for 100% deposit bonus up to $100. Deposit 100, get 100. $200 worth of drafts doesn't sound like a bad plan to me. So with that, let's jump on over and jump into a puppy. And we'll fire it up and see what pick we get here. I was just doing another draft and I was saying how, the best part is like when it's filling to wait and see what pick number you got. And we got pick 4. Yes. Oh, thank goodness.
Nice.
I have been getting constantly, Steve, pick like 6, 7, 8, 10, 11, 12. Like I can deal with the 11, 12 because you kind of know what's happened at the turn, but then you constantly get sniped. You get sniped on the front end too, obviously, but I can handle 11, 12, but I hate that like 6 through 10 range. I just feel like constantly both sides you're getting sniped, don't you?
Yeah, no, it's really tough, especially, with how we like to draft, taking one elite receiver and then coming back at running back,
Yeah.
and maybe grabbing two potentially, or one of the top quarterbacks. Like that's tough to do from the late position. When
Yeah.
you try and get a quarterback in the third, it's almost impossible. So,
Which is good, go ahead. Sorry.
just could you make it dark mode? It's harder to see right now.
Yeah. Is that better?
Yes, much better. Thank you.
Okay. You got it. Okay, draft is officially starting. So yeah, I'm targeting elite receiver here. Ideally, I need more Cup and Hill. It's still early in my portfolio. Still early, plenty of time to get them, but I need more Cup and Hill in my portfolio. So I hope one of them is there at 4. So yeah, we were talking about the late picks. My favorite picks are here 1 through 4 are my favorites. So anytime I get 1, 2, 3, or 4, I'm really excited, and that's obviously what we have. 1 pick left. I'm going to take whoever. So they took Hill, so I'm going to take Cup. So this is a snap decision for me because I already need it. It's just I'm falling in these ranges. You fall in these ranges, right, Steve, where like you just like are either kind of not that you have to take, Jefferson or Chase at 1, 2, but like where you're taking a certain guy or two at a certain spot, or like mid or later, then certain guys are gone, or it feels too early or feels too late. I don't know. It's tough. Then you kind of get left with certain guys that you feel lower on. And again, plenty of time to still get the exposures you want. But I don't have enough Cup and Hill, and then trying to grab more. So it did go to Jefferson. I'm bringing up the board. Can you see the board okay, Steve?
Yeah.
Okay. It did go Jefferson, Chase, Hill. I took Cup, Lamb, which listen, again, if you want some more Lamb in your portfolio, I get it. Go grab it. Go grab your guy in the first round. McCaffrey, AJ Brown, Travis Kelce, Stephon Diggs, and then we're at pick 10. So yeah, coming back around, we're kind of in this sweet spot here, Steve, where if we want to do hero or double hero running back, we're in a really good range at pick 21 and 28 to get 2 really elite running backs. And the nice thing about that, especially if you get 2, is then you can kind of, that's what you need to do, honestly. If you're going to devote 2 high draft picks to the running back, you kind of need to haul ass back to receiver, quarterback, tight end, other positions, and then you can readdress it later in the draft, after like around pick 10 or something. So I don't mind doing that. But so with that, as it's coming back around, It did go Austin Eckler, Bijan Robinson, Jonathan Taylor at the turn. But I do still think there'll be some running backs, Devontae Adams. So let's go back and we'll cue both running backs and receivers at 5 picks away. Obviously, Nick Chubb is my favorite. I've cued Chubb, Barkley, Pollard, Henry, Stevenson. I mean, in that order, I don't know if you have a massive preference, but I like them all.
Yeah, and I think Jacobs is probably next. I'd actually put Jacobs above Henry. I just think,
Agreed.
just the concern of that Tennessee offense. I do want some Henry because, as we saw last year, he's still incredible.
Do you have any concern, or quick answer, just because we're up in 3, do you have any concerns with Barkley and Jacobs actually holding out? I know that's kind of the news stories that's filtering in right now.
No. I don't think so. Barkley has been the one who's actually said it, and I just don't see that happening. It was terrible for Le'Veon Bell. He's admitted it. Barkley's agent has to know that. So I just don't see why he would risk that.
Yeah, we're just peeking over at receiver, and of course you could go elite QB here, but I'm kind of fine just grabbing a running back or two. But just to peek over receiver, we've got the Olave, Devonta Smith range, and yeah, I just love this range. We'll see what happens here. They did take Olave, so again, with 1 pick left, if Chubb's there, I'm taking Nick Chubb. He's probably my number 1.
Yeah.
And they took Nick Chubb. So would you go, smart person, whoever you are, would you go Barkley, Pollard, or I do love getting exposure to Dallas offense.
Yeah, let's go Pollard.
Okay. I kind of like going Pollard. I am very bullish on the Dallas offense. And again, with Zeke gone, I think he's going to get even more high value touches, which of course on Underdog, we are touchdown hunting. So yeah, really, I mean, again, I would have been fine either Barkley or Pollard, but I kind of do like Chubb, Pollard, Barkley in that order, most likely. So we'll be coming back around in 6 picks. These would be the guys in that range. If these guys fall, Stevenson just was taken. We could go back to receiver. We could look at like an elite tight end or an elite quarterback. Kind of what are you thinking with 4 picks away? Do you like doing the double hero if one of these guys is there?
I do. And then to me, the other play would be, and yeah, I would add Hall to that mix, but the other play would be quarterback, just because receiver, it's not as, I mean, I like Ridley, but in that group of receivers, I think most of them are pretty overdrafted.
Yeah, I think most are overdrafted too. Ridley's probably, I agree, 100% the one that stands out to me in that 3rd round receiver. I really like the 3rd round running backs a lot, or elite QB. So yeah, we'll see what happens with these next 2 picks. I'd say if both Jacobs and Hall are gone, then maybe we pivot. Okay, Jacobs did go, so let's see what they do. Which elite QB would you take if we were to go elite QB?
I mean, honestly, it's Hurts or Allen, obviously. I would
Mahomes. Yeah, Mahomes went to 2.11, so Mahomes is off the board. Okay, they took Cooper, so I'm fine pivoting back and doing the double hero. They do have the same bye week, but then we can address that later. I'm fine with that, addressing that later. So what's your call?
Yeah, no, Hall's good.
Okay. We just need to know that kind of no other running back beat week 7 bye weeks. That's just as simple as that. Our other running backs won't have week 7 bye. Okay, so
it also means we have to make sure we're getting guys who are going to play, not just contingent value players.
Right. Of course. Okay, so we'll be coming back up. Let's look at the board. We'll be coming back up at pick 45 and 52. In a double hero, you kind of want to make sure you still get your receivers because it can really dry up quick. So I want to kind of cue receivers in that range. I don't know that these guys will still be there, but I'm going to start queuing from 40 on and receivers that I like. If there's any others, take a peek back at the board. It was 45 and 52. If there's any other receivers that you like in this area, let me know. I mean, I again started after pick 40, assuming that those guys wouldn't fall. And we'll see how many of these guys are there. Then this range I'm not as keen on, like the Ayuk, Pittman, JSN, Marquise Brown. I kind of like this range of receivers, and then I like the Tyler Lockett, like Steelers receivers, Addison, Jahan Dotson range. So kind of hoping we can get 2 in this range, or maybe 1 in this range and 1 in the next range. Because again, it's like after you do enough drafts, you kind of know the pockets, right, Steve?
Yeah, absolutely. And like you said, it's like, sure, there's other guys there. We can speculate on Hopkins and hope that he goes to a good situation. But honestly, his value, I mean, him going to the Titans or the Chiefs, it's massively different.
Yeah. Well, he's pick 39. Maybe he'll be there. But he was right now. His ADP is at 39. I mean, if he was still there, would you rather him or would you rather like a Judy, Drake London?
I mean, I think I'd take Judy or London Williams over him.
Yeah, I agree. Especially since it's not like we did like a 0 RB build where we were just loading top receivers. I'd rather have some safety with our second receiver to cut. Cup's bye weeks 10 doesn't conflict with any of these. Just peeking over at quarterback, excuse me. Unfortunately, we don't have any of the Cincy receivers, and you got Justin Field, Herbert. I personally have done a lot of Herbert stacks because what's nice is you can get him. Usually one of his receivers, I believe Keenan Allen went recently. Well, I guess I can look at this really quick. Keenan Allen went
at the end of the third.
How do I not see it?
At the end of the third round. Second to last, the 11th spot.
Oh, now I see it. Thank you. That seems early for him. But anyways, Keenan Allen went into the third. You do have Mike Williams. I have done that a lot. I've done a lot of either Keenan Allen, Mike Williams in like the 4th round if possible, and then Herbert in the 5th. With 2 picks to go, how would you rank Judy, London, Williams? Okay, London's gone. Judy, Williams, McLaurin. Let's just rank those 3. We have 1 pick to go.
Honestly, in that order.
Okay, Judy went. I have a lot of both Mike Williams and McLaurin. What's your lean? I mean,
my lean would be Mike Williams. I mean, that team probably will be 1 or 2 in the league in pass attempts. So.
I have a lot of Mike Williams. Hope he stays healthy this year. Okay, we'll be coming back up at. Oh, I have a lot of Mike Williams already, I should say. Again, I know it's still early. 52. So, yeah, when it did massive run on the receivers there, as we kind of predicted. It went Hopkins, London, Judy. We took Williams, McLaurin, Ayuk. There's still Kirk and Godwin on the board. A little further down is Lockett, but that's a bit of a reach. We could do the whole, we've done this already on streams, but we could do the Herbert pairing and grab them. Again, when you get a Chargers receiver, it really sets up nicely for it. Then we're going to have to haul ass back to receiver, to make sure we get 4 or 5 good ones that we're comfortable with before it really dries up. So what would be your lean with 2 picks to go? We've got Christian Kirk, Godwin, Tyler Lockett, which is a bit of a reach, but I like him better than the receivers before him because I just don't like this range of receivers. If you can see the Pittman JSN range. So Kirk just went with 1 pick to go. Would you go Godwin, Lockett, or would you go ahead and grab the Justin Herbert stack?
I mean, I think if you're going to reach, I'd reach for Herbert.
Well, yeah, that's barely a reach. We're just 3 picks above ADP for Herbert, whereas Lockett's like 10, 11. So you'd go Herbert over Godwin.
Yeah.
Okay, let's grab our stack. So with a 16-pick break here, we've got a 1-2-2 situation. We did the double hero running back essentially in the 2nd and 3rd round. So we got Justin Herbert, Tony Pollard, Breece Hall. Need to be careful, no more week 7 running back buys. Cooper Kupp, Mike Williams. I do think that, let's see, we're coming up on 6 round. We'll have round 6 and 7 next. I do want to get at least 2 to 3 more receivers in the next 4 rounds or so, 4 or 5 rounds. So want to be very cognizant of that. So we're coming up at pick 69 and 76. So just want to queue up some more tight end. I'm fine waiting on. Have been.
Yeah, I think with this build we have to.
Yeah, exactly. When you go double hero and then kind of, I mean, Herbert is almost a delayed hero or a quarterback. Let me just finish my thought really quick. When you go double hero and then like even a delayed hero quarterback, you have to kind of push tight end back, but that's okay. You can just, there's a lot of good starting tight ends late. Go ahead.
Well, and the other thing is I think it is feasible, but going double hero with the same bye means we need 2 guys who can fill in that week. So
yeah,
like we need guys like Antonio Gibson,
right? Those type,
AJ
not
Dillon,
not pure handcuffs. Yeah, no, I get what you're saying.
So we're gonna have to take those guys in that like 9 to 11 round range.
Right. Okay, so far I've queued up. We still have 12 picks to go. So far Godwin and Lockett are still queued up. I queued up. No, I did not need to do that. I queued up Deontay Johnson, Jordan Addison. I mean, I go back and forth on Tony. I can throw him in there. Pickens, obviously, you take one or the other. Jahan Dotson, Gabe Davis. You could do a double stack with Quentin Johnson. I'd honestly rather do like a stack later with Everett if you wanted to double stack Herbert. We could double up some Dallas offense with Brandon Cooks. So I just queued a bunch of receivers for like our next few picks.
What are the numbers again that we're looking at?
Yeah, we are pick 69 and 76. So we're coming up on pick 60 right now. In that range. We're still 8 picks away. So we've still got a bit of a ways. I'm just going to wait. What did it say? So after those 2, like if we wanted to get if we did want to like go back-to-back receiver, then that would take us to like that 93-100 range for running backs. It depends on how you feel on the receivers that are left on the board once we get closer. Because like at the 76 pick, I don't mind somebody like a David Montgomery to run back, the Dallas stuff, stuff like that. You talked about getting like guys that are gonna play, and I mean I think David Montgomery is way. I think his ADP is too low in my opinion for this format. I really could see him in that Jamal Williams kind of high value touch role.
Oh, absolutely, and even with them drafting Gibbs, that team you just look at the combined yardage, catches, and touchdowns of Swift and Jamal Williams, and even getting half of that, even if it's more split 50-50, is incredibly valuable.
So who with 4 picks up do you like? Tony just went as far as receiver. With 3 picks left, Deontay Johnson, Jordan Addison, George Pickens. After that, you're kind of reaching. Who would you?
I would go Jordan Addison.
I was thinking that too, because then it sets it up if we wanted to just grab Kirk Cousins, and then we could probably be done if we wanted to. If we wanted to grab a third, I love grabbing 3 quarterbacks. Quite honestly, I do a lot just to have multiple outs for stacks. Let me just finish my thought, and then I'll grab this. 3 quarterbacks allows, obviously, even with a good quarterback, multiple stack options in the playoffs. But then we don't have to if we do get Cousins. So I am going to grab Jordan Addison with our 69th pick. So our receivers are Kupp, Mike Williams, Jordan Addison, all different bye weeks like that. At this, we're coming up again in 4 picks. I'm fine if we wanted to grab David Montgomery here. We've got the correlation, already. I know they're running backs on the opposing teams, but it is correlation in a game that I really love, being the Detroit-Dallas Week 17 game. Or we could target one of these receivers left on the board who, I have interest in them all. There's also correlation, or if we want to double up on Dallas, I like Pickens and Dotson a lot. Of course, Gabe Davis from a high-powered offense in Buffalo. So, honestly, I don't think you could go wrong with any of these picks, but these are the 5 that I'm interested in. How would you rank them with 2 picks to go?
I would definitely prioritize the receivers here.
Okay, so you would bypass the Montgomery pick,
Yeah,
and go ahead and get.
There's a chance Montgomery slides. He's not a guy who typically goes much higher than ADP. So
Okay. I don't know. We're gonna have a big break. Oh damn! I was just gonna say I'm gonna go with Jahan Dotson and do the first one before we take. I was ready to take Dotson. So, do you want to go George Pickens?
let's do Pickens. Yeah.
Okay. There's no bye week conflicts there. 10,
No.
15, 13. Yeah, that's nice. Okay. So yeah, 16 pick break. I think we're in a good situation. We got 4 receivers. By the 7th round, which is nice. So even though we started double hero running back and essentially kind of a delayed hero quarterback, we still got 4 receivers by the 7th round, which I think is absolutely key. So we have Justin Herbert, Tony Pollard, Breece Hall, Cooper Kupp, Mike Williams, Jordan Addison, and George Pickens. David Montgomery is still queued up, obviously. So let me look and let's take a peek at how the board is shaking out. And then we can take a look at what our next pick numbers would be. So after in round 8, it's pick 93, and round 9, it's pick 100. So 93 and 100 are our next couple picks. Definitely by pick 100, I think we need to go back to addressing the running back situation. And if a running back we really like at 93 is there, I think we can do that as well. So why don't we queue up some more? Because just obviously Brandon Cooks and David Montgomery are left. So I'll jump to running back first. I like David Montgomery over Connor, but I'm going to queue up Connor too. Any other for later, we can clue up. You mentioned guys like, the Washington running backs, AJ Dillon, that kind of stuff. I just wanted to queue them up for later just to have them in the queue. Any other running backs you want me to put in the queue?
No. One thing I was going to maybe suggest just from a concept going forward, excuse me, is unless like a Brandon Cooks falls here, double tap the running backs.
Mm-hmm.
And then, if we could get 2 of those 4, that'd be amazing. Obviously not both Washington ones given our situation, but if you double tap the running backs and then you target Matt Stafford as your second quarterback and then take a third, either Kenny Pickett or somebody late,
Okay. Yeah, I queued up Cousins. And I was going to say we probably would have to take him with pick 100 because I don't think he'd be there by the next go around. Yeah. But just out of curiosity, where did David Montgomery go? I was just curious, just because I am high on him. Okay, he went right around his ADP at pick 83. And then it went David Montgomery, Thomas Sutton, Zay Flowers, Darren Waller, Javonte Williams, Quentin Johnson. We, like you said, if Brandon Cooks is on the board, I think that's in really good value. But if not, I get what you're saying just based on the running back situation. And you made a good point about the potential perfect stack we have so Cooks just went. So with 1 pick to go, do you want to grab Dillon here or
Dillon, and then get whichever Washington running backs left?
Okay. Well, I don't know if they still will be, but let's grab Dillon first. So hopefully at least Gibson.
My guess is Gibson will be.
Yeah. Okay. And then
you could look at guys like Bateman or Jameson Williams as fallback options.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, Jameson Williams. I was like, where did he go? He just got picked. Okay, hold on 1 second here. What quarterback did you mention Stafford late? What about another idea? If we wanted to, just with, well, let's address this first. So we have Brian Robinson there, so we're taking him first, correct?
Yep.
Okay, perfect. Let's go with that. And with a 16 pick break, and then we can talk through the whole second, potentially third quarterback and how to play out the rest. We have a 1-4-4 after 9 rounds. Again, even doing double hero, we still got 4 quarterback receivers early. Probably want to get a 5th the next round before it really dries up. But we have Justin Herbert, Tony Pollard, Breece Hall, because they both had bye week 7. We made sure we got 2 really starting caliber running backs with different bye weeks, and A.J. Dillon and Brian Robinson. And then receivers, Cooper Kupp, Mike Williams, Jordan Addison, George Pickens. So, yeah, I think with the receivers that we already have, and then with potential like other receivers I like and stacked, if Cousins was somehow still there, I don't think he will be. You could do that. If, you mentioned Matt Stafford, which would be much later because we have Cooper Kupp. I also threw in Goff because I really, really love the Detroit offense. And while we missed out on the early stacks of obviously ASB, and then Jameson Williams just went, and then his running backs are obviously gone. I talked about wanting to get David Montgomery. I don't mind like having a Goff, Laporta, and then if you wanted to throw in like a last round Josh Reynolds or something like that too. So those are just some things to think through as potential options. All don't, conflict with Herbert's bye week either. So any thoughts? And then we need to start queuing up. I mean, obviously if it was, okay, so let me check our next picks. It's 117, 124. So, again, if you wanted to take off, you could take him at 124. If you want to take Cousins, if Cousins fell, you'd take him at 117. Those are 2 options, but we got to have, 8 picks away. I think we need to pivot back to receiver and, consider that. And then we can talk about tight ends, obviously later, but who else do you want to queue? And then actually, let me one question at a time. 8 picks away. So quickly, what's your thought on the quarterback situation? How would you play it out? Like kind of if, different.
Personally, Goff's fine, but I think Stafford offers the same and probably getting a couple rounds later,
Okay.
Like with taking a hero quarterback, it's not like we necessarily need to count on that guy. And we know Stafford's capable for, if he's healthy, 25, 30-point games just as much and actually more so than Goff. So, and of course, we're banking on Cooper Kupp being Cooper Kupp over 2 years ago.
Right. Okay. Now, with 4 picks away, if Cousins is there, I'm assuming you're fine taking him.
Yeah, no, I think obviously, Kirk Cousins last like 3 years has been QB 12. He is Mr. Automatic. 6 to 9, 20 plus point games, 1 or 2 cracking 30. He's as consistent gets.
Okay. All right. So we'll see. If not, any other receivers, I think we need to pivot back to receiver 50. Yep. Absolutely love it. So I have 2 receivers left queued up because we're at 117 and then again like 120. We're up in 1. We'll see what happens if Cousins is still there or if we're going to pivot to receiver, and then we'll go from there for the next pick. So, because that would give us the Kirk Cousins.
I'm surprised Njoku's on the board.
Jordan Addison, and he is there. So I'm going to get our Kirk Cousins, Jordan Addison stack. So, we have 2 stacks already. If we want to grab a third, we can. Depending if I'll leave Stafford in there in case he falls for some reason. But anyways, we have Herbert and Cousins with 2 different bye weeks both stacked up already. So that's really nice. I think we'll put ourselves in a good position, and then I think we should address receiver with this pick 124 because I believe it really does dry up after Gallup. So if Gallup's gone, any other receivers in this range that you?
I mean, I like Nico Collins. You know, I think it'd be good to get a pretty clear starter.
I mean, I like Rice, but I know we need to see what's going to happen with, you know, where potential other free agents land and that kind of
Just
stuff.
they have so many guys there. Like,
yeah, I'm just high.
With,
he's a rookie. I'm high on, but you know, sure. I'm mixing him in, but I'd rather get a more solid starter for sure. So, you know, hopefully Gallup is still there. We are up next, and then we will go from there. And because then we'll have a little break and we can kind of figure out kind of the back half of the draft essentially. Because this is pick number 11. So they took a chain, so we can grab Gallup, get our 5th receiver that we feel good about. That makes me feel good. Added to our Dallas stack because we already have Pollard. So 16 pick break. Let's regroup. We have a 2-4-5 situation. Herbert, Cousins, Pollard, Hall, Dillon, Brian Robinson, Cooper Kupp, Mike Williams, Jordan Addison, George Pickens, Gallup. We, again, even doing that double hero running back, got 5 receivers. We're really confident about that. Is key. Really happy with that. Yes, we haven't addressed the tight end position, but you know, you can load up and just get starters that you're confident in and hope that the quantity of that. So do you think we should start kind of looking at that next? Let's see what our pick numbers are coming up. In round 12, it's pick 141, and round 13, it's pick 148. So to that point, let's see, because we're probably looking TBD on another quarterback, 1 more running back, 2 to 3 more receivers, and definitely 100% 3 tight ends. Correct, Steve?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I think
so. Let's start queuing up. You know, Dulcich has, again, don't force week 17 correlation, but when it comes naturally, what are our pick numbers again? Sorry, I just like to remember kind of 141, 148, somewhere around there. So don't force week 17 correlation, but when it comes naturally, I love that. So Dulcich, Higbee are 2 of my favorites in that, you know, in that range. Further down, of course, look, you could, you know, obviously Everett correlates, and then Laporta is a run back to Dallas. So those are my 4 favorite tight ends in this range. Thoughts? Or not in this range, kind of coming up in the next several picks, basically.
Yeah, I think, you know, depending on what's there, I think grabbing a tight end and maybe a 6th receiver would be good.
Yeah, okay. Let's, I definitely hope we can grab a tight end up in 5 picks at pick 141. Because this is not a receiver range I am super thrilled about. I like them a little further back more when we get to the Jayden Reed, which does correlate with Minnesota's week 17.
Yeah, we just may not get a guy like that at that pick number.
Well, his ADP is 159, and our second pickup is 148. So.
Oh, I meant if we waited to come back.
Oh, yeah. No, I meant next. I meant like if we went tight end and then receiver.
Gotcha.
Okay. I see what you're saying. I know you like him, so I'm just going to throw a couple of the guys. Okay, so we are on the clock. Greg Dulcich is there. We both like Greg Dulcich, and it's perfect week 17 correlation. So that was easy. Like that. And then after, I'm trying to see where we'll come up again. So we're coming up at 148 in round 13, and then we'll be back up at like 165. So may not get Laporta or Everett but hopefully one of them falls. So would you rather grab like a Higbee here, or I'd kind of like the whole Jayden Reed kind of plan, because I'm fine waiting on like the 5th running back later. because we grabbed 2 solid other starters. Like I'm fine like a, round 14, 15, 16 round running for our 5th running back. So I kind of like grabbing like Jaden Reed here. Not only do you have correlation, but we both really are high on him. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think Reed or Gerald Everett would be where I'd go.
Okay. I mean, Everett correlates, obviously. We could always correlate something else, or if you don't have to. So would you, I kind of like the double stack with Everett. You want to do that? Okay,
Yeah.
let's do that. And I did not look, they do not have the same bye week. That's good. So 9 and 5 for Dulcich and Everett. So yeah, 15. So we are now through what? Let's take a look at the board. We are now through 13 rounds. And we have 2, 4, 5, 2. Again, this is, it could either be as far as like the numbers of the positions going across, it could either be like a 2, 5, 8, 3 or a 3, 5, 7, 3, one of the two, just depending kind of if you wanted to like throw in like a Pickett with Pickens, or something like that, or correlate a late round tight end or something along those lines. But, so our next picks up, Steve, are at 165 and 172. Any strong, I mean, we have these guys queued, but I don't know who of these guys. And when I say these guys, if you can't see, it's Laporta still at tight end, Matthew Stafford still at quarterback, Jaden Reed and Tyquan Thornton still at receiver. So do you have any strong takes or thoughts or wanting to queue up, get more guys for pick 165 and 172?
Well, as much as I like Laporta, the fact that he has the same bye as Dulcich is not great. Since we're really trying to ping later tight ends. I think you're probably better off taking a Mayer or Hunter Henry or somebody like that later. If one of those receivers is still there, especially another guy I'd add to the mix is Rashid Shaheed. I think that would be interesting. I think, we could just, if value is there, take a 5th running back like Ford or Mostert.
We're up in 8 picks.
The tough thing with Elliott is if he goes to a week 7 team, we would lose a lot of value.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, there's a chance he could go back to Dallas. It's true.
Yeah.
I mean, later I love Gainwell and
Yeah.
Gus are my 2 favorite, like late, and they don't intersect with any buys.
Ty Chandler,
Ty Chandler
back now.
Yeah, absolutely, in Minnesota. So we're up in 5 picks. I kind of honestly like these late. If Thornton or Shaheed are there, I kind of like that.
Yeah, me too.
God, I wish we could get Laporta, but you're right. I mean, I've done this before where you get 2 tight ends with the same bye and then have the third to like fill in that bye. But then I see what you're saying is then you only have 1 guy for the week of that bye, and you're just thinner since you're doing, unless we I'm just throwing it out there. This is a concept that people have talked about, the 4 tight end thing. We could do that if we only did 2 quarterbacks. That is an option. Where you just, usually when you do that, you do it within the last like 5 or 6 rounds, and we obviously address some in earlier than that, but just throwing that out there in case Shaheed's gone, because I don't know, I don't mind that. But anyways, we are up. Pickett just went. Just that was a note, a quarterback we kept our eye on. So would you rather go Shaheed or like Laporta do the 4 tight end? You want to do Shaheed?
I'd do Shaheed. Yeah.
Okay.
I think he's got a lot of spike week potential.
Okay, I was gonna say, tell me kind of your.
Yeah, no, I mean, you look at last year, he, came out of nowhere and had some big time plays, and it sounds like he is definitely in 3 wide receiver sets. He's going to be their deep threat. Derek Carr, as much as people rag on him, is actually a pretty decent deep ball quarterback. I mean, Devontae Adams people thought like losing Aaron Rodgers, Devontae Adams would have 0 deep ball game, and that was actually his entire game last year. Was he actually had one of his best deep receiving seasons in years. So I just think there could be a lot of potential. And of course, in the dome, there's obviously plenty more opportunities to throw deep. So yeah, I like that.
Oh, thank God somebody took Sam Laporte, or else I was going to just be tempted to do it and be like, no, we got to do it and take the risk in the bye weeks. He's fallen, or we got to do it and take a fourth tight end, which I haven't done yet. Have you done the 4 tight end thing yet? I know you usually should do that later. If you do it, you should do it with like your last 5 picks. Okay, we are on the clock. Ty Chandler just went. Wow, that's early. I don't want to admit, the thing is, we're not back on the clock until 189, and I think both these guys are going to be gone. I kind of like grabbing Gainwell here.
I like Gainwell.
I love Gainwell. I am so bullish on him. So I'm kind of glad that we locked him up. I don't care that we reached a little above ADP. I have him ranked higher personally. So, and again, that helps. We have 3 guys different from the week 7 bye week, and Dylan, Brian Robinson, and Kenneth Gainwell. So right now, let's see, we are heading into, let's take another look at the board. We're through 15. We have 3 picks left, and our next 2 are at 189 and 196. Steve, I think most our stacks are kind of gone. So that I would feel really comfortable with. I'm kind of comfortable with the Herbert Cousins pairing here. It's not, again, I do a lot of 3 quarterback builds for both with or without hero quarterbacks for various reasons. But I think in this situation, it's not like a super risky situation like with Tua, or neither guys are a running quarterback. Injuries can happen to anybody, but I'd be fine with 2-5-8-3 if you'd like to do that route with our last 3 picks. Basically, go 2 receivers, 1 tight end. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, no, I mean, I think that's viable. I think we could, even tack on a 6 running back, especially somebody like Pierre Strong with James Robinson getting cut. Strong is well in line to be that number 2 back.
I'd personally rather go 8. I mean, we did a double hero running back situation. I know they both have the same bye week, but I feel really, really, really good about our other running backs. You got 2 other starters and 1 other guy. I mean, they trusted Kenneth Gainwell in the Super Bowl, for God's sake. Like, to me, the flyers that I'd like to take, I feel good about the receivers. We did a good job pivoting, but it's not like we and we got Kupp obviously with our first pick, but then I personally would rather go 8 receivers. But no, you make a good point. I mean, you have optionality here. Is the nice thing, the way we set it up. We're not forced into anything.
Exactly. And we could even try the 2 tight ends like the last 2 rounds, like take a receiver here and so I would take a receiver here and then
let me look. I'm just to keep in mind the pick numbers. So it's coming back, and we have 189, and it's 196, 213. So 189, 196. So who are receivers that you want to queue up? We're 5 picks away.
It's like the worst range of receivers.
Yeah. I actually like, that's why, hold on. Unless you'd rather go tight end here.
Take me.
And then, I like the tight ends better here. I mean, listen, I thought the point you had was very viable. You could take a receiver and then do the whole 2 late round tight ends. But if like a Mayer or Hayden Hurst is there, I kind of like that a lot.
Yeah. Those would be the only 2 though.
Yeah.
There.
I mean, later I like Luke Musgrave, but yeah. All right, let me just queue up the guys I like. And then we're up in 2 though. Okay, so if Mayer or Hayden, because we're not thrilled with this receiver range, so we are fine doing our 2 last picks being receivers. And if Mayer or Hayden Hurst are there, you're fine taking either one of them. Yeah. They both have the same ADP. And I know it's a little heavy, but I have them right there. Yeah. Let's see what happens. If this guy doesn't take Mayer, we're going to take Mare. So, and again, yeah, 9, 5, and Mare's 13. So, got it. Perfect. Okay. I mean, we could do like a Luke Musgrave if you wanted, if we like were happy with the next receiver we got. But again, have options. To be at this point in the draft and to not feel forced is a good position to be in. 196 and 213. So I'm actually just gonna, because there's some correlation there, leave him queued. And then just start. I know you like Slayton. I like Tim Patrick.
Robert Woods.
Do you like? I personally have been taking. Again, we kept getting sniped on Detroit players. Because we did get Pollard and Gallup. I love that Detroit Dallas game in Week 17. We're on the clock. Let's grab this one. So would you go Slayton here since he's ranked the highest? Is he your favorite of the receivers? Okay. So we grab Slayton. So we have a 2.573. Most likely we're going to go 2.583, but we'll see what shakes out here. So I would say one thing that I've been doing, when I started doing drafts, and I think he just went, I was taking some Marvin Jones Jr. from Detroit, but I've been taking some, I know you like Corey Davis late, I'm going to cue him up. I've been taking some, let me find him, Josh Reynolds late. He'll obviously be far from 100% drafted. A lot of these late round guys are, but he definitely will. And I think he could play that like Jameson Williams role the first 6 weeks. And then who knows, he's got a good connection with Goff. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind Reynolds for a flyer. I'd still probably feel better with Corey Davis, but yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, we have 13 picks to, figure it out. So let me just bring up the board, just kind of see. Obviously, in these last rounds, people are kind of getting their second or third quarterback, flyer receivers. We're kind of in that range. So down to it still blows my mind that Trey Lance is going ahead of Brock Purdy. I just feel like Brock Purdy is going to be the starter. And I've been taking, obviously, Purdy and 0 Lance. I mean, I think there's a world where Lance could get traded if there's an in-season injury or something like that, but I wouldn't draft for that. So I suppose it could work for the people who do draft him, but
yeah, I mean, it's not even a guarantee if Purdy can't start week 1 or suffer some sort of setback or early season injury that Lance is next up. I mean, they seem to be, they like Lance, but they also seem to be very high on Darnold.
Yeah. Okay, it's coming back around. Yeah, so basically, we're in these flyer range. Like I queued up Luke Musgrave if we did want to do the 4 tight end thing with. Again, I don't think we really should, because again, you really should do that. They show advance rate with 4 tight end is usually the most successful when you wait and draft them last and then load up at all the other positions. So I'm happy with our tight ends of Dulcich, Everett, Mayer. I'll leave them in there in case these guys get all taken. I don't think that's going to happen. We're 5 picks away. I mean, I would rank Josh Reynolds just because I'm really, really high on the Detroit offense. But I'm, Tim Patrick is a second run back to our Chargers stack. And I know you're really high on Corey Davis. I personally do already have a lot of Tim Patrick and Corey Davis in my portfolio. But again, it's early to keep diversifying the portfolio. So, how would you rank them from a not considering correlation? You'd rank it what? Corey Davis and then what?
Yeah, I think Corey Davis, Reynolds, and Patrick.
Okay.
Because we actually already have we've Dulcich, and yeah, I mean we just have a lot in that game already, and that's fine. But I just think that
we only have Dulcich from Denver, but yes,
yeah.
That's why I say you could. I already have a lot of Corey Davis, Steve. So for that reason, I'm just trying to diversify at this point. I'm going to go, no, wait, is there any bye week issues that we have? We did pretty good at receiver, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Spread out.
Okay. Okay. It's spread out. So I'm going Josh Reynolds just because it's more like just diversifying the portfolio, and it does correlate to a couple Dallas guys we got. So I like it. We did a 2-5-8-3. We got Justin Herbert, Kirk Cousins, Tony Pollard, Breece Hall, with our second and third pick, AJ Dillon, Brian Robinson, Kenneth Gainwell. Make sure our bye weeks were covered. Cooper Kupp, Mike Williams, Jordan Addison, George Pickens, Michael Gallup, 5 really strong receivers, and then 3 flyers that I really like: Rashid Shaheed, Darius Slayton, Josh Reynolds, and then 3 tight ends: Greg Dulcich, Gerald Everett, both correlate to our Denver Chargers Week 17 stack, and Michael Mayer. So both our quarterbacks are stacked, have some correlate Week 17 correlation in both with our Herbert stack and Dallas Detroit kind of little skinny stacks there. And overall, I think the way we spread out our positional capital, I was really happy. What are your thoughts, Steve?
Yeah, no, I tend to agree. I think I think people get too hyped that double hero can't work, and obviously we still took Cup first, and that
that's
definitely helps.
Yeah, to speak to your point, you said it off the jump that it's the best when you can do double hero, when you can get like that elite receiver at the first round and then still get a double hero, whether it's Chubb, Jacobs, or like we did Pollard, Hall or something like that. I think that puts you in a great position, because then you can kind of then refocus on, a really good quarterback, stacking back up the receiver position, that kind of stuff. So I really like that. I think we showed how you can do double hero and then still make sure you have a very solid, really solid receiving core. Any other thoughts before we get out of here?
Yeah, no, I just wanted to just go back to the whole Cup thing. I know people are down on the Rams and all that, but and I get Cup's coming off an injury, but what he was on pace for last year would have dwarfed Justin Jefferson. It's that simple, and that's with Stafford playing awful, their offensive line terrible.
Mm-hmm.
Their O-line should be better. Hopefully Stafford's healthier. There were no other weapons because Van Jefferson was hurt. Allen Robinson was banged up. Like, it was, they were a complete and total mess last year, and they're still not going to be great. They're not going to be what they were 2 years ago in the Super Bowl, but they should absolutely be better than last year. So, Kupp has, I think, a very high chance of being wide receiver 1 again.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, I really like the whole Herbert Cousins pairing and stacks. I think that's like I know you and I are both so bullish on the Chargers. And then to have a Cousins stack as that second stack is really nice.
Well, and you're talking about 2, and I know, not a ton of like rush equity between those 2 quarterbacks. Herbert's run some, and Cousins has always had some, rush touchdown equity. I mean, he had a year with Washington where he had like 6 or 7 touchdowns running. But, you're talking about 2 offenses that throw at some of the highest rates. Cousins last year did not have a strong, or actually neither of these quarterbacks had strong touchdown rates, but we should be looking at positive touchdown regression for both those.
Yeah.
And if so, like I said, Cousins was QB 12 last year. If he had a good touchdown rate last year, he would have been like QB 8, QB 9.
Yeah.
So,
right.
And we know Herbert a couple years ago was QB 2 or 3. So,
I definitely think he could be in the top 5 this year. For sure.
We're talking potentially we could have 2 top 10 quarterbacks and didn't spend the farm on the position.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think we covered it. I'm happy. Another puppy down, another puppy that I'm happy with. So anyways, I think that covers it. Again, if you are new to Underdog, be sure to use code FANSPEAK. Get 100% deposit bonus up to $100. Be sure to check out all of our strategy articles and soon-to-be rankings up on fanspeak.com. And be sure to like this episode on your way out. Thank you guys so much for joining us, and we will see you next time.